unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our spring percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to mypillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. I hope you're having a fabulous Wednesday, July 2nd. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. I want to say thank you for hitting that like button and sharing this out. The topic of the show is incorrect. Again, we're working out some bugs here. And once I hit live, it put an old title up. So that is not what we are going to be discussing because that was quite a while ago. But I want to say thank you for everybody who is tuning in. And also, if you guys see M. Buffy TV inside the chat today in the next couple days, please let her know she is the winner of our last raffle. I forgot to say this the last 2 days. I said it on Friday. So M. Buffy TV was the winner, and I want to get everything shipped out that we got here. So if you guys would please do that, we would appreciate it. And once again, thank you for the help. We're going to talk about quite a few things. Let me jump into the chat really quick. We got Rob Wallace in the house. Hunter, JH Candy Bar, C. Marsha, Darla Miller, Micro Taz is here. Let's see. Pixie. Hello, Pixie. B. Mikey's in the house. What's up, B. Mikey? Nola's in the house. She's probably causing problems. Texas Bigfoot. Jan Garner. Downright hot there in Georgia, huh, Jan? Could be. It's actually kind of cooling off this week. I was hoping it'd be a little hotter because 4th of July is coming and I want to sit in the pool all day. But it's probably going to be like 90, 98 today, I think. I was hoping for the hundreds. I like a warm pool. Susan K. Spencer, let me go to the bottom. Old Uncle Bill says, hi, Josh. What's up, old Uncle Bill? Chris B. Jan Doe. Fairness 2020. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you guys hadn't heard yet, let me put this up there. I wonder if it's 2 different ones. Hold on, I got to figure out how to do this again. It's already been. There we go. So we got Sean Diddy Combs found not guilty on the most serious charges. We got count 1, racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. Count 2, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, not guilty. Count 3, transportation to engage in transportation, guilty. Count 4, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, not guilty. And count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, if you are viewer Diddy, this is a good outcome. We talked about this case. We talked about it pretty extensively when we were just covering, and I said to myself, where the hell is all this bombshells we were waiting on? I talked to my sister about it. I was like, nah, something just isn't right here. And I don't want to get Clinton for talking about Diddy like this, but when it all broke, man, we were going to have an Epstein 2.0. And one of the strange things that I think might have a little something to do with it is James Comey's daughter was the one prosecuting this case and also was one of the prosecutors on the Epstein case. Now, money does talk. Money does talk. When it comes to court cases, you see this all the time. A lot of these people, Hollywood elites and others, they can get off pretty simple. Pretty simple. Now, I believe the most he can receive is 10 years. Will he receive 10 years? There's about 80% chance, in my opinion, that he's going to walk. They're going to give him time served. They're going to give him probation. They're going to do all those things they do to privileged people that wouldn't happen to me and you. Obviously, me and you wouldn't be in this situation, right? Let me pull this up really quick. I got to get used to this, guys. Got to get used to it. I got to get another desk over here. Take a listen to this.
Mixed verdict here. Not guilty. Have the first verdict on count one, racketeering conspiracy. How do you find the defendant not guilty? And so now they'll move on to count two. Count two, how do you find the defendant not guilty? That is the sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. On count three, which is Mann Act transportation involving Cassie Ventura, guilty. Count four, sex trafficking of Jane, not guilty. Count five, Mann Act transportation of Jane, guilty. So, mixed verdict here. Not guilty on 3 of the charges, guilty on 2 of the charges. Lisa, your reaction?
So there we have that right there.
First,
again,
the first
the
verdict.
more serious charges not guilty on, it's going to be interesting to find out what the sentence is. Man, it just pays to have that privilege, doesn't it? Last night we did a little test stream and we did cover some of this, but I want to go over it again. We're going to reiterate some wins today. We've been seeing a lot of wins. The last 2 weeks of the Trump administration has just been epic. Epic. And so one of the wins was the fact that University of Pennsylvania has agreed to right its wrongs when it comes to men being in female sports. And they're going to restore the record of the women who lost to a male and issue an apology to the women. And they're not going to allow men to compete anymore. I don't know if a lot of people seen this coming. I thought it would take a lot longer than this. But again, I think when we see what President Trump and the Trump administration has been doing, they've been tackling a lot of stuff, removing federal funding, doing all this. And you got some places like California that will spend the hell out of California's tax dollars that we don't have to fight Trump. And I think others got there and they got some good advice and said, we're on a losing battle here. All you have to do is look at the public opinion when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And it's just absolutely insane. So that's going to be great. I'm glad that the man is having the title removed. And those girls are having their records restored. I think that's pretty big. It doesn't make up for the fact that they could have been on that podium, number one, once in a lifetime. They've worked their entire career for this. They wake up early. They go to bed late. They eat very healthy. There's a lot of sacrifices that go in, the time with their family and friends. Those times just go out the door. let's pull this up right.
Decision comes as a resolution to a Title IX lawsuit brought by the Trump administration Education Secretary Linda McMahon. And here she is reacting on the Ingram angle.
We have signed an agreement with them, and we hope that that agreement is going to be a template for other universities who acknowledge that there is no room for men and women's sports. The university is apologizing. It is taking away the titles that were incorrectly given to men. We've righted a wrong today.
One of Leah Thomas's former teammates, Paula Scanlon, claims the school's apology didn't go far enough.
What I did not like about this apology was that they just simply said, well, we were following the rules. To my question, Title IX has always been what it is. Mm-hmm. How is it just changing the rules that men can magically be women for a couple of years and then went back to reality? They've been given no justification for that. I think, again, this is a wonderful start. I think we've seen the Trump administration has been so strong on this. I appreciate their leadership in this issue. It shows that they really are doers. They're getting things done. They're doing exactly what they promised, and I'm so grateful for that.
And former NCAA swimmer, champion, and women's sports activist Riley Gaines joined me on the Faulkner Focus last hour. She told me she hopes the decision will inspire more female athletes to speak out.
I hope we see the likes of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Of course, we saw where Simone Biles was on this issue, which is really sad. Venus and Serena Williams. I mean, I can think of so many athletes, female athletes with prominent platforms who I would just love to link arms with in this battle, who would celebrate this and praise again the actions that we have seen from the Trump administration.
All right. Ainsley, I think back to that all-women's town hall, October 15th. Leading up to the presidential election last year, mm-hmm. and the president bringing that town hall to its feet. Mm-hmm. When I asked, well, how are you going to get this done? How are you just going to take men out of women's sports? He said, I'm just going to do it.
Take their money away, right? I am so proud of him, proud of Linda McMahon for really focusing on our girls, our daughters. You have athletic children, and I have an athletic daughter, so I'm so grateful for this because it's taken away scholarships. It really goes against everything that Title IX stands for. That was all about fairness for women. So for me, it's about fairness, and it's not about what way you think about transgender. For me, it's just fairness and safety for our little girls. Some of these sports are so brutal and so violent, and it's not fair to our kids. So God bless you, Donald Trump, Linda McMahon. And actually, I want to say I'm with Riley. Hats off to UPenn. They didn't handle this always the right way, but at least they're trying and they're doing something. And I hope other Ivies follow suit. We interviewed two of the athletes that competed against Leah this morning, and they both said they lost their spots because of Leah. But this is a step in the right direction. Doesn't change their situations, but does change the future for our little girls.
And
so there you have it. Again, we got to celebrate this. This is just a little bit of what we need. We need reality. We need truth. And unfortunately, there's still a lot of states, a lot of colleges, a lot of school districts that are fighting the Trump administration. You go to Oregon and Washington and California. There's some other states as well that, again, are really trying to erase females, erase everything they worked so hard for, and they're playing the mental illness game rather than truth. And I just think that is something that we need to be focused on. Yesterday, we did cover that USAID was done. And it's interesting. They're doing some rebranding. So we're still going to be helping out other countries. It's going to be put under the State Department, or under the Marco Rubio from the Department of State. And I want to show you, there was a lot of ways that USAID branded things. None of it said America, where the money came from. And I want to show you this really quick. If you look at this right here, these are all brand confusion. Power Africa, Community Solutions, Chemonics, Mercy Corps, FHI 360, Feed the Future, Save the Children. Those were all different programs that were essentially just USAID. A lot of those NGOs and a lot of other things. If you look at the bottom here, Now it's going to have an American flag, and underneath it, it's going to say provided by the United States of America. I think when we're helping folks out, that you go to these other countries and they're like, oh my gosh, DAI is such a great group. All that was your tax dollars, and now it'll be branded as such, provided by the United States of America with an American flag, as it always should have been. Again, it's just little things that we're doing, and I think they make a big difference in the long run. A big difference in the long run. Another win that Trump posted about today, guys. Let me show you this here on the screen. It says, it's my great honor to announce that I have just made a trade deal with the Socialist Republic of Vietnam after speaking with To Lam, the highly respected General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam. It will be a great deal of cooperation between our two countries. The terms are that Vietnam will pay the United States 20% tariff on any goods sent into our territory and a 40% tariff on any transshipping. In return, Vietnam will do something they have never done before: give the United States of America total access to their markets for trade. In other words, they will open their markets to the United States, meaning that we will be able to sell our products into Vietnam at zero tariff. It is my opinion that the SUV, or as it's sometimes referred to, the large engine vehicle, which does so well in the United States, will be a wonderful addition to the various product lines within Vietnam. Dealing with the General Secretary To Lam, which I did personally, was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, I think it was just hilarious listening to some of the leftists, you know, the ones that are paid to just anything Trump does, that like they wake up every morning hoping something's bad happening in the United States so they could blame Trump. They're out there saying, oh, well, more tariffs for the American people to see. I just want to explain to folks, since Trump's been inaugurated, since he's been president of the United States, he increased tariffs pretty early on in the administration. Those tariffs have already brought in about $130 billion to the United States. And I was watching, I didn't pull up all the videos. I spent last night trying to look at some of this. Some of the folks that were saying how bad tariffs would be on the United States, how much it would increase your cost. There was actually some people that did some figures, and they were far from right-leaning. They couldn't find those price increases. They couldn't, it didn't add up to them. How did we get $130 billion in tariffs, but the consumer's not paying for it? It's simple, folks. There will be some minor price increases when it comes to tariffs on certain items. That's just how it goes. B. Mikey gifted 5 subscriptions to the Oreo Express. Thank you, B. Mikey. Everybody that got that subscription, give a shout out to B. Mikey. We appreciate you, B. Mikey. But think about that, $130 billion. We were told 3 months ago that within two to 6 weeks, our store shelves would be empty. That we would be paying 3 times as much for our products. Now, that's not the truth. I mean, my main concern, I'm going to tell you, when I talk about prices, I'm not talking about luxury items. My main concern is, in my life, is the cost of groceries, which the cost of groceries has came down since Biden was in office. Not as much as I want to see. Electricity rates. I live in California. I pay the highest electricity rates thanks to Gavin Newsom and the major majority Democrats in this state. Necessities. Things that we buy on a regular basis. I'm not talking, yeah, you know what? A barbecue's imported. It was $249. Now it's $269. How often do you buy a barbecue? Let's just say once every 8 years, if that. I mean, most people I know have had their barbecue for quite a while. And so they're having a hard time right now. They want to make Trump look bad. Obviously, and we're going to cover it. They're upset about the big beautiful bill. Remember, we showed you last night. Everybody's going to die. Everybody's going to die. That's just one of those things that Democrats have used. Remember when the old school one pushed Granny off a cliff? Well, that's what they're doing. So I think it's a great deal. What I want to see with this, and I want to see how our exports go to Vietnam. I want to see how this increases year after year because of this negotiation, because Trump won't get credit. If we do $6 billion in trade, and I'm just pulling a number out of the air, which trade is that's supporting American manufacturers, American corporations, American workers, and it goes up to $6 billion. You're not going to hear CNN, MSNBC, or any of those other legacy media outlets that are just an arm of the Democrat Party. You're not going to hear them talk about that. And then another thing he put out, which I thought was really interesting, we covered the other day, the communist that won the Democrat primary for the mayor of New York City. More and more videos are emerging beyond socialist, actually communist. And so the Democrat Party, what they do, they look at the win and said, oh, they did something. This guy did something we can't do. So they're all leaning over. They want to call themselves socialists, but he really ran on a communist platform. And Donald Trump came out and put this out there today. It says, as president of the United States, I'm not going to let this communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all the levers and I have all the cards. I'll save New York City and make it hot and great again, just like I did with the good old USA. Now, with that being said, this guy is literally quoted saying some things that comes right out of the Marxist playbook. I was listening to the PBD podcast last night, and they played some videos that I hadn't seen. And this man is bad. I didn't know this, and I might have read it or even reported on a show, but it just didn't ring a bell to me. That he wants to go after billionaires. There is more billionaires in New York than anywhere. That they hold the largest amount of billionaires. So it's going to be interesting when they take their money, and people in Florida are already saying, please don't come here. It reminds me of Texas with the Californians, right? Now, hey, Texas, we have some great Californians. There's not many of us. A lot of people want to lie to you and say there's all kind of us. And the only reason why I say that is if you're silent and you're in California, you're not one of me. You got to speak out. You got to be loud, and you got to be an activist in order to save your state. But Texas, man, the signs, don't California my Texas, all the things that we heard. Now that's what Florida is doing to New Yorkers. And so I'm glad Trump's on top of it. Another thing that came out last night after the live stream I thought was interesting. CBS News, Paramount Global, the parent company of CBS News, has agreed to pay Trump an estimated $30 million to settle the election interference lawsuit. This is where CBS did an interview with Kamala Harris. You guys remembered it. We covered it extensively, and deceptively edited the video before it was played and cut out answers and put with other questions to make her look more electable, make her not look like the dingbat she is. So that's pretty, excuse me, that's a pretty big one. He's won a couple lawsuits now against legacy media and the people that were literally interfering in the elections. They've done this for a while. I would love to see more lawsuits like this. If you remember, it wasn't long before, or it was shortly before the 2020 election. where mainstream media lied and said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, trying to sway the voters in any way they can. Now, I always say there's not a whole lot of people on the fence. If you're on the fence, you're a problem. But there is people out there that are on the fence because they follow legacy media. And even following legacy media, you would think Trump would get no votes from those people, because I think something like 98% of the media coverage on Trump is negative. Even with all these wins he's gotten over the last couple weeks, you can't find a whole lot of that. So this is a pretty big one. Laura Loomer analyzed this a little bit and said CBS News in 60 Minutes humiliated in a $30 million plus settlement with President Trump. CBS will pay $15 million to President Trump's library and cover his legal cost and fees, and it is also anticipated they will allocate a mid-eight-figure sum to air public service announcements and advertisements in support of causes important to and supported by President Trump. Man, they had to be feeling pretty bad. They had to be a lot of people are saying this is only a $15 million settlement. That's the money going to Trump's library, but there's his legal cost. There's also these public service announcements that they have to air now. Again, whatever those will be, it's going to be something that's pro-Trump administration. So whether it's the fentanyl crisis, whether, all those different things, CBS will have to air that. And it's just great to see that Kamala Harris wasn't able to use legacy media and steal this election, because that's what their intentions were. Old Uncle Bill gifted a subscription. Thank you, Old Uncle Bill. Appreciate you guys. Can't do it without you. Thank you so much. So we're going to talk a little bit about the big, beautiful bill. And the fake news that's going around that. You have legacy media lying and saying, oh, these Americans are going to lose their health coverage. Now, they kind of got an out, because some Americans are going to lose their health coverage. But more importantly, who's going to lose the health coverage? Illegal aliens. They're living here in your country, usually rent-free, free education, free food. We're going to be cutting a lot of that out. That was one of Trump's promises. But you know who else is going to lose? Is those who refuse to get off their ass and work. It would be nice. I don't know if I could do it. You guys know I'm all over the place. I'm ADD to the max. So I could never just sit around and collect money from the taxpayer. I always got to be on the move one way or another. But those people are now going to have to either get out and work 20 hours a week or volunteer 20 hours a week. This is what Trump posted about Congressman Jason Smith. We are going to get the one, it says Congressman Jason Smith. This is his quote. We are going to get the one big, beautiful bill passed and to your desk. This will be for the people who don't have lobbyists in this town. The farmers, the welders, the waitresses, the nurses pulling double shifts, the truck drivers hauling goods across this country. The folks who work hard, play by the rules, and ask for nothing more than a fair shot and a government that works for them, not against them. The one big, beautiful bill is their bill. It's about restoring sanity in a town that's lost it. It cuts waste. It reins in the reckless spending. It demands that if you're able to work, you should. It delivers the largest tax cut in history and stops asking working families to foot the bill for Washington's bad decisions. Thanks for your vision, leadership, and determination. You are my favorite president. Let's get this done. So President Trump shared that. I thought that was pretty cool. And we're going to get into some of what are they saying? What's going on? Let's take a look at this. We also had this story. This was interesting. This was shared by Rapid Response 47. And in order to in an effort to support the big, beautiful bill and the president, Mama and Papa's Barbecue in Waco, Texas is closing their doors until the big, beautiful bill gets passed. It says it's very important we show unity. Take a look at this.
Laws, because the community has been so good to us as a family that we feel we deserve it. We owe it to the community. And this is the way that we're doing it.
Bill Collins and his family have owned Mama and Papa B's Barbecue in downtown Waco for 40 years. But to show their support for our president, they're closing their doors until the big, beautiful bill gets passed.
We're doing it as a form of protest because we believe that following Trump, who is our president, although we don't agree with everything that he may say or do, but we feel that in this particular instance, it is very important that we show unity.
The bill includes several new policies ranging from tax cuts to immigration enforcement. But Collins tells me his solidarity isn't about policy. He says it's about standing up for what the bill can do.
American people need to come together, put aside their political differences, and come together in unity and show the world, the United Nations are looking at what we're doing.
Some people might say, oh, well, why is he closing his restaurant? This is only going to hurt him. What would you say to them?
Well, see, that's the whole point. If it was going to hurt me, I wouldn't close down.
Collins isn't concerned about how long it could take for the bill to pass. Instead, he believes the temporary closure is a statement designed to bring unity to our community and the country.
We're all going to have to sacrifice something in order to pass this big, beautiful bill, first of all. But we're going to have to realize that and be willing to give up our part.
So I want to go eat there now. I want to go in there. I've been there. I've been to Waco, Texas. I'm going to have to, next time I'm in the area, I'm going to have to remember. Again, these are the type of people that mainstream media won't show you. This is the type of things. And when you travel, like if you go through parts of California, you can find some pretty red areas. But you go to other areas of this country, there is Trump stuff outside of businesses. There, you go in there on the walls, there's the Trump 2024 stuff. They let you know who they support. And if you don't want to eat there or you don't want to do business with them, bye-bye, ta-ta for now. Listen to Democrat Congressman Jamie Raskin. He created his own preamble to Trump's big, beautiful bill. This is just crazy. This is more of, obviously, they have to obstruct. We know this. They have to obstruct, and that is what they are doing.
Preamble to this big, ugly bill. We, the billionaires, and our king, in order to deform and sicken our union, establish injustice, ensure domestic servility, weaken our people's defenses, undermine the general welfare, and reserve to ourselves and our posterity staggering debt servitude for eternity, do hereby instruct the Republicans in Congress to strip 17 million people of their health care, increase co-pays, deductibles, and premiums for everyone else, cut 42 million people off of nutritional assistance, increase the national debt by $4 trillion, trash renewable energy systems, increase our electric bills for the carbon kings, all to weaken and destroy the Constitution of the people of these United States of America. Please include this preamble in the legislative record.
Oh my goodness, folks. That is hilarious. I love to see it. Again, what did Democrats do other than obstruct? They're just the party of the obstruction. They got us into this mess. And now they want to blame Trump for everything.
The preamble to this big ugly
it was kind of interesting. Gavin Newsom trying to deflect all of his failures onto President Trump yesterday. Saying that the federal government, talking about forest fires and everything else, and people are like, dude, how long have you been governor? Take care of your own backyard. Rep. Andy Harris says it really good here. Again, folks, if you're able-bodied, and you know what's funny is none of us have said we shouldn't take care of our ill or our seniors. That should be our elders should be the greatest thing that we take care of. We should respect. We should respect them and ensure that their quality of life has not been demeaned like it has under the Inflation Reduction Act under Joe Biden, where, you know, they're struggling to just survive, just to make ends meet. Take a listen to this right here.
Be a big thing. This is what all the left media is talking about. Can you just clarify and confirm? Because some people are questioning, you know, will people get their Medicaid, will it go away?
Well, look, if you're on traditional Medicaid, you know, you're disabled, you're elderly, you're pregnant, you're a child, you're not going to get anything taken away. Look, if you're able-bodied without dependents and you choose not to work, well, you shouldn't be on a public welfare program. That's the bottom line. If you're one of the 1.4 million illegal immigrants who are here, who are on Medicaid, you shouldn't be getting it. The bottom line is these are all counted in the CBO estimates. Again, you're an able-bodied person, you choose not to work, you should be off the public dole. Yes, you will lose your Medicaid coverage. Get a job and get coverage through a job if necessary, or sign up for Obamacare. You still have Obamacare as a backdrop for a lot of these individuals. So again, these numbers are highly inflated. No one who the core Medicaid program was designed for, that is the disabled, the elderly, pregnant women, children, none of them are going to lose their coverage under any of these plans.
Nope. And if you do, it's because you didn't deserve to have it in the first place.
Well, isn't it funny how Democrats are spinning that? That's what's in the bill, folks. That's what Democrats are saying everybody's going to die from. Again, they're not asking senior citizens to go out and get a job. They're not telling senior citizens we're cutting off your health care. What they are saying is, and I was thinking about this last night. I watched a video a couple weeks ago, and it was an old wooden bridge. What do they call those swaying bridges? Anyway, some of the boards, there was like 5 or 6 people on it, and you could tell this thing was about to give out. That is our Medicare, our Medicare system right now. And so if you have 30 people on that bridge and it's about ready to give out, and you take 7 of them off, it becomes more sturdy, you're saving these people's lives, and that bridge isn't going to fall. That's exactly what we're doing here. Is there are so many people weighing down a taxpayer-funded healthcare system that was created not for people that could work, not for healthy people, not for people just want to not pay for their own insurance, and that's what it's become. Also, on top of that, the $1.4 million illegal aliens. I told you guys time and time again, I can't afford healthcare in California. Ever since we passed Obamacare, it's skyrocketed the prices of everything. And to sit here and to think that these people illegally enter the country, they're given housing, education, food, healthcare, and they haven't put a dime in to deserve any of that. And so I'm happy that they're going about it like this, even though there's the panicins out there. Check this out. Democrat doctors came outside the speaker's office. And this reminds me, this video is just like a video I took. I didn't upload it when I was in D.C. I did upload a couple videos of Code Pink, because when I was in D.C. the first night there, if you guys remember, that's when Israel bombed Iran for the first time. And so Code Pink was out there within an hour, all 11 of them. And they're sitting out there holding their little protest, and everybody's walking by completely ignoring them. Like, hey, don't even know what's going on here. Well, take a look at this right here. That's the same thing that happened today on Capitol Hill, right outside of the speaker's office. Take a look at this.
Are the doctors communists? Democratic doctors communists. We have cared for the sickest patients in our communities. As physicians, we if someone was a Democrat or a Republican. In fact, that is never an issue that you address. We just care for people. And let me be clear. The big, ugly betrayal bill will hurt people. You cannot
Nobody's even paying attention.
In healthcare and not devastate our healthcare community. This is not fiscal responsibility. It's a smash and grab robbery of our healthcare system to give billionaires tax breaks. And while we're here, let's do some back of the napkin math and talk about what $1 trillion really could do. It could provide a full year of mental health care to hundreds of millions of people. It could cover the cost of giving birth for roughly 70 million women. It could help ensure that no family in this country goes bankrupt for paying for prescription drugs. And it could easily fund dental, vision, and hearing care for all of our seniors. That's what happens if Congress chose to invest $1 trillion in people. But instead, Republicans are choosing to do the bidding of their billionaire donors. This caucus will not be silent while Donald Trump trades lives for luxury. The American people deserve to know exactly what it is that's being done in their name, in their democracy. And we are here to make sure of that. Now I am passing it off to the amazing Dr.
One person. That's the Democrat Doctors Caucus, folks. The Democrat doctors. Not one person stood by and listened to them. This is mainstream America right here. This is exactly how all these working class people feel. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know where you live. I just think about it like this. I live in a working class neighborhood. There's not anybody in my neighborhood, unless they're retired, that is not working unless they are disabled. They go to work. They pay, they pay for their health care. They raise their families up, and they're sick and tired of just this socialism that Democrats are trying to usher in, and they've done a good job. That's why I told you guys like a month ago when we started, about 6 weeks to 8 weeks ago, when we started looking at how many people were on Medicaid in different areas of pockets of California. I looked around this area, and I was like, all this is socialized medicine. There isn't that many people that need medical in that area. When you think about it, most people are healthy until they get older, right? You might break something, you might have something, but for the most part, I told you I had insurance forever. There was years where I never went and visited my doctor. I didn't need to. If I had the flu, I stayed home for 2 days and got better. And that is why they are discussing the fact that, 400 hospitals are going to close. The 400 hospitals aren't going to close because we're giving illegal aliens health care and taking it away now. The reason why they're going to close is because the taxpayer has been subsidizing those hospitals where people make damn good money, and I'm not bashing them for the money they make. But a lot of these hospitals make really poor decisions. And as part of the reason, check this out. You got Nancy Pelosi. You got them all out there trying to make a spectacle out there. Take a look at this. This is hilarious. Listen to this. Once again, we're all going to die, folks. We're all going to die. It was nice knowing you.
So it's especially shocking that the Republicans are rushing to sign this cruel bill by the 4th of July. The largest cut to health care in our history. The largest transfer of wealth from working families to the billionaire class. A bill that makes Americans sicker and poorer. A bill that takes food from the hungry. There is no freedom in this bill. Unimaginably, this bill is worse than when it left the House. It cuts Medicaid by $1 trillion. It kicks 17 million Americans off of their health care. It threatens hundreds of hospitals with closure. along with a quarter of all nursing homes. It hikes the cost of electricity. It hands a 3% pay cut to hardworking people of this country and hands their children $5 trillion in debt. Does that sound like freedom to you?
Does that sound like freedom, folks?
So
the
it's
funny
especially
thing is it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they say, because in 2 years when they were absolutely wrong, they're not going to say we were wrong, Trump did something great. They're going to find something else to complain about. They're the party of obstruction. They have destroyed this country. Their policies have destroyed blue states. California is a prime example. When they say it's going to raise energy costs, electricity costs, 30%, where are they getting this number? The reason why they're saying that is because they want to fund the Green New Scam. And Trump's like, we're going to build coal, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to stop subsidizing these windmills and the Green New Scam. And they're upset about this. Listen, Hakeem Jeffries was over there too. You can't forget about Dollar Store Obama. Take a look at this.
Every single House Democrat will vote hell no against this one big ugly bill.
And you know what's funny? Eventually they will start taking credit for the stuff that happens out of this bill in their districts and their communities. Just like I've been looking at some numbers, and I don't have the facts to tell you yet. But believe it or not, with our deportations and just having ICE on the streets, we are seeing, you're going to see a pretty significant drop in crime in different cities. Pickpocketers, street robberies, assaults. Now you have illegal aliens that were committing crimes on a daily basis that are now in hiding, because now they know when they get caught, they're done. They're going to go to Alligator Alcatraz. I love this one too, because you know they always bring their best and their brightest.
On this point of tax on tips, as one of the only people in this body who has lived off of tips, I want to tell you a little bit about the scam of that tax, a little bit of the fine print there. The cap on that is $25,000. While you're jacking up taxes on people who make less than $50,000 across the United States, while taking away their SNAP, while taking away their Medicaid, while kicking them off of the ACA and their health care extensions. So if you're at home and you're living off tips, you do the math. Is that worth it to you? Losing all your health care, not able to feed your babies, not being able to put a diaper on their bottom in exchange for what? This bill is a deal with the devil.
Oh, Lucifer himself, guys. Oh, Lucifer himself. I just find this amazing. They hate it. They hate it because Trump thought of it. The no tax on tips. It was huge. It helped them win Nevada. It helped them probably win a couple other places as well. And so what we are seeing here is Democrats doing anything they can. And we had Maxwell Frost yesterday come out and say that they 400 400 amendments, 5 minutes each, just trying to delay. And he says the more we delay, the more the bill goes down in popularity. That's all they're trying to do. If you ask the average person right now out on the streets if they even know about the big, beautiful bill, if you asked them right now and they did know about it, I would say a lot of them would say, oh, well, it takes away everybody's health care. We're going to lose all our health care, because that's all they've heard. They don't know. They don't do their own research. They don't look for
on
the
this
information.
Point of tax
and
on
that's what Democrats hope for. I mean, I would say that we are a little bit more in tuned. That was one of the benefits of COVID, right? That people got like, wait a second. You're telling me what I can and can't do, when I can leave my house, how I can have Thanksgiving with my family. thought we were a free country, and they started looking into stuff. That's why you have all these great school board members now, people that never wanted to be in politics, seeing what was going on. Their kids came home and they were looking at their homework for the first time, and they're like, what the hell? And it's backfiring on them. Here's a good example of where your tax dollars go. This is from Medi-Cal DHCS. This is California's Medicaid program, you know, the one that's been bankrupt. These are the type of videos they post. They posted a man pretending to be a woman in order to promote life-saving, gender-affirming care. What is that? Chemical castration, puberty blockers. That's what literally they're promoting. And this is also when they say life-saving care is going to be taken away. Guess what? If you have a mental illness up here, nothing we do down here is going to fix that. It's not going to save your life. The only thing that's going to save your life is you getting the help you need. Probably join a church, start opening up the Bible, start.
Hello everyone, I'm Willie Selbon. I am a unit. Hello everyone, I'm Willie Selbon. I am a unit. The Department of Healthcare Services, and I also happen to be a transgender woman. As a queer person, I can truly identify with the issues that can arise in having access to care. For me, as a trans person, that ability to transition, that ability to access medical care was not only life-fulfilling, making my life one that was much more willing, but it was life-saving. Looking in the mirror wasn't a hateful experience, it was one that I could actually embrace. And having access to life-saving, gender-affirming care meant the world to me. But I also know how many barriers there can be to access that. How doctors that gatekeep can keep you from getting access to the right care, and people that put their own opinions over seeking the right medical advice for you can get in the way. How financial barriers can stand so strong in the way of you getting the care that you so deeply need. And as a queer person, I hope that you at home will keep in mind that it's worth the fight, that it's worth reaching out to organizations like Medi-Cal, looking into the resources we offer, that it's worth talking to your doctor, and if they don't fit your needs, if they're gatekeeping, or if they're just not willing to accept you as you, to look for a different one, to go to your local LGBT community center and ask for resources, ask for supporting affirming doctors, ask for places where you can be you and get access to the medical care that means so much. Hello everyone, I'm Willie Selbon.
Isn't that funny? Care we didn't have 50 years ago and people didn't die because of it now is life-saving care. Again, and that's paid for. That person is paid for with your tax dollars. This is a good use of funds, taxpayer funds, according to Gavin Newsom and the Democrats, the crazy Democrats in California. We have a whole nother breed of Democrats here in California, and I think you guys know that. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, we're going to talk a little bit about Jerome Powell. There has been some more calls for Jerome to lower interest rates. He is the Fed chairman, and he is admitting that he is holding tariffs hostage. He says, if you drop the tariffs, I will lower interest rates. Essentially, that's what he is saying. And I'm sitting here thinking, really? So again, we elected Trump. Remember, it's my favorite word, beautiful word, tariffs. Remember that? We went to the polling station and we voted for that, 7 swing states. And Democrats don't like that. So what are they doing? They're trying to fight it. Take a listen. Oh, I have to refresh that one really quick.
I can tell you that the overall Fed board has had 2 reactions to the tariffs, and it's a little bewildering to me why this wouldn't have pushed them more towards a cut or has put them on hold, because the Fed publishes something called the Summary of Economic Projections. They raise their inflation forecast, and my hunch is that's going to be wrong, but they lowered their growth forecast. So if you're lowering growth forecast, then why wouldn't you proceed? We saw, I'm just basing Fed behavior on past behavior, and we got a 50 basis point cut last September, and inflation was higher and core inflation was much higher. So I don't know. I guess this tariff derangement syndrome happens even over at the Fed. Well, Laura, I can tell you that
Tariff derangement syndrome, another form of TDS, folks.
The overall Fed board.
Interesting, to say the least. We also had Director of U.S. Federal Housing and Chairman of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, William J. Pulte, calls on Congress to investigate Chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. This is, let me pull this up really quick. It says, U.S. Federal Housing and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac Chairman calls on Congress to investigate Jerome Powell. Today, the Director of U.S. Federal Housing and Chairman of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, William J. Pulte, issued the following statement. I am asking Congress to investigate Chairman Jerome Powell, his political bias, and his deceptive Senate testimony, which is enough to be removed for cause. Jerome Powell's $2.5 billion building renovation scandal stinks to high heaven, and he lied when asked about the specifics before Congress. This is nothing short of malfeasance and is worthy of for cause. As Senator Cynthia Lummis said, Chairman Powell, made a number of factually inaccurate statements to the committee regarding the Fed's plush private dining room and elevator, skylights, water features, and roof terrace, and that this is typical of the mismanagement and don't bother me attitude of the chair, Jerome Powell. And it says at the bottom there, Chairman Powell needs to be investigated by Congress immediately. I would definitely agree with that. Here's another fake news article as we get into some of the stuff that's going on immigration, and we're going to have another great show for you here in a couple hours. We're working on getting that stuff all up and running. It says CBS Colorado said Colorado grandfather detained by ICE while walking his dog. Oh my God, he's a grandfather. How could you do this? I just love it how they're like, oh, this person was a gardener. You can't take gardeners. Oh, this person was just doing their job. You can't take them. The only people that Democrats want to see jailed are their political opponents. They don't care about the murderers, rapists, drug dealers, human traffickers. They don't care about any of those folks. But the truth is, the Colorado grandfather is Baldomero Noah Castaneda, who, according to ICE, has a prior removal order and a long rap sheet, including 24 arrests for theft, assault and battery, damaging property, and shoplifting. I love how could you imagine if they were nice to me? Instead of calling me a Nazi and a right wing and all these other things that they call me, imagine if they just treated me like I was an illegal just for a day. I just want to be an illegal for a day. I think that would be epic. That would definitely be epic. How about this? More fake news. LA legal group sues to stop unconstitutional immigration actions. It says a suit filed in Los Angeles highlights Trump's administration enforcement tactics and accusing officers of racial profiling, brutality, and holding detainees in dungeon-like facilities. Again, guys, so it's kind of funny. Homeland Security did respond to the tweet, and I thought it was kind of funny. Take a look at this. It says, fact check, New York Times, claims that individuals have been targeted by law enforcement because of their skin color are disgusting and categorically false. DHS enforcement operations are highly targeted and officers do their due diligence. ICE detention facilities have higher standards than most U.S. prisons that hold actual U.S. citizens. These types of smears are designed to demonize and villainize our brave law enforcement. This garbage has directly led to over a nearly 700% increase in the assaults on ICE law enforcement officers. Now, we covered that. It continues to go up. Democrats continue to tell us what? Think about it for a second. Oh, these are Nazis. These are Gestapos. These are the brown shirts. I mean, demonize them the same way they did Trump and Trump supporters for many years. It justifies people attacking you. It justifies their violence. When they tell you to get out in the streets and be ready to fight, what does that mean? Think about it. These people are just beyond crazy. But I love this. I love this. Yeah, I love Tom Homan. Again, we say it all the time. And Tom's saying it right here. He said it before. Oh, I'm going to have to refresh that one. Hold on.
By widespread fear among. If you're in the country legally, you should be concerned. It's not okay to be in the country legally. If you're a national security threat, you should be working. We're looking for you. There's widespread fear among.
There's widespread fear. If you're not breaking the law, you have nothing to worry. And the second you entered this country illegally, you have violated that law. And I know mainstream media don't want to call it what it is, but that is somebody who is in illegal. And so it's just absolutely insane what we've been seeing lately. It's just insane. So, guys, I want to say thank you for everybody tuning in to our first show. We will be live later on this afternoon, probably about 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. If I could get you to hit that like button and make sure you share out our videos, we would appreciate it. Again, we are doing this. We are working through some stumbling blocks over here as we transition over to another program, which I think will be much better for us in the long run. If not, we might just get it set up and use the other one and only use this one for certain times. But want to say thank you for your patience. We appreciate you. And once again, we are 100% viewer funded. If you'd like to help us out, it's the first of the month. We got our bills due again. All the lights, camera, action, data, and all that other stuff. So if you guys want to help us out, we would appreciate it. You can donate at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We also have givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And then if you do mobile or online banking, you can go over to our Zelle link. We have a Zelle link on our website. Our website is theoreoexpress.com. You scroll down our homepage. There's a Donate Now button on there. And again, you can see our links over there. And once again, we want to say we appreciate you guys. We can't do it without you. And don't forget, if you guys see M. Buffy TV, that is the winner of our raffle from Friday. I want to get this stuff shipped out. It's ready to go. So if you see that person in any of the chats, let them know. Just email me the address and everything. And tell them thank you for playing and congratulations on winning. So we will see you guys soon. God bless and have a great day.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Freedom faith.
won't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the